Happy Thursday, Sajay. How you doing?
Good, how are you? Always
Doing
on
all right.
time.
So
Sorry, I'm
important
keeping my
question.
sorry, I'm leaving my camera off. Just
That's all
eating
right.
breakfast on the side.
That's all right. Pulling up some repos over here so I don't misspeak.
All right. I actually had a question for you since no one else has joined you. Oh, people are joining maybe.
Too late. Now you can't ask.
It's okay. Yeah, I'll still ask.
I can go
uh,
away if you need to
oh
ask.
no.
Okay.
It's actually a an authentication specification question. I know this is not the working group for that. So I came across I mean I've been trying to figure out a problem with the Heroku client right now. And apparently, this came across the access token response. So, in the token response, there's the token field and the access token field. We don't standardize this on anywhere. Uh, and it's very hard to go and make a change into a client without, like, I don't know whether the quirk is in ACR, but I think the Docker, even on container D, the implementation is that if there is an access token, then it overrides the token field. But
Uh,
those are like reference implementations. There's no standard anywhere that that's what should be.
correct. Yeah, that would be a good thing for the working group to really specify, but I think I've copied that same code that I saw over on Containerd in my own code. So I believe we're all doing that. I
Okay,
think
good to know.
I think I've also looked at my logs and I'm doing the authentication. They've got some stuff in there where they would do a post request and another option where they'll do a get request. I try both. What I've noticed is I don't think many people actually accept the post request. Either they don't accept it or I'm doing it wrong, one or the other.
Yeah, it is tricky because the initial authentication token request is a combination of basic HTTP, then transfer to bearer. I mean, it's a standard OAuth dance in some way, but we don't even reference to the OAuth spec anywhere. So
Yeah, that's that all needs to come out of the auth working group at some point, but they're on indefinite hold until people have time to actually work on it.
well, I'm fixing up clients, so it's indirectly working on it, unfortunately. So
If you'd like to write a proposal over there and get working on it, I am all for it.
all right, let me see what I can do.
While you've got free time, and also while Ram is here, um, do both of you know that you're on the TOB? And I asked that because there are 2 open votes in the TOB right now.
Oh,
Oh, it's sitting over in the HackMD notes. I don't know. I need to check to see. Can I find out? I can find out who's the member of the mailing list.
I can find that out.
It's kind of there. It's kind of masked a little bit. But are both of you on the TOB mailing list? Google Groups?
I can tell them momentarily too. Let's see.
I see Sajay in that list.
That is so there's that's a very big, I assume, public board, but we want the private.
No, I think it's okay to be public. We're not doing anything confidential over there.
Sure, it's just that the public list has 135 people on it.
Yeah.
So if people are using their presence on that list as an indication of whether they are or are not on that board, then
No, it's not going to do that. But I just want to make sure that they are seeing those messages since the votes are happening over there. Ram, are you on that one?
Checking. I believe I am, but I'm trying to figure out where the mails are ending up in my mailbox.
I will drop the link in the chat here. It's always going to the spam folder. That's the first place I would look. But yeah, we've got a proposal and a vote sitting open. And so the vote, I actually just got something from Sam the other day. It said, hey, why don't we change this one thing? So that I might need to make a small tweak, and then that'll change the commit and we'll have to reopen the vote. But since nobody's actually cast a vote, that's not a big deal. The other one from Sam is to archive the image tools repository. Someone might be saying, oh no, archive a repository. No one uses this thing. Almost no one uses this thing. So image tools, I'll drop that link over in the chat as well. It was something that was seeing stuff about 7 or 8 years ago. And looks like it received a little bit of maintenance until about 3 years ago. And then no one's touched it since then. It's got a big notice on there. It says it's not actively maintained. And so that's something that TRB is voting to just archive it. If anybody still has it as in their Go imports, they'll just get whatever was 3 years ago, and it gives clarification that we're not maintaining it anymore.
Yeah, so that's just making it official that we are not maintaining it anymore. And if somebody wants to maintain it, somebody forks it and maintains it. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy vote from me. And I just checked the dependents for image tools. Doesn't look anything serious there. So
Let me try it this way. Packagego.dev.
and the last merge was 3 years ago. Okay.
And it's got in the description too of this thing isn't maintained.
Yeah, this is an easy vote for me. Is there a PR somewhere that says archive this?
It's not a PR, it's an open vote in the mailing list. Let's see, I'll look through the imports right now of at least half of one of these folders. Singularity may have something for this. That's a May. It's like a few layers down their directory structure. Otherwise, I don't see any other. Yeah, I'm not seeing other big main projects out there that I recognize. But it's something we haven't touched for 3 years. It kind of came up for that vote, and so it made sense to say, hey, maybe we should archive this thing. The other one was just me doing a little bit of house cleaning. There was a request from Chris, I don't know, how many years ago has this been that he made that request for Code of Conduct? 2017. It's been a while. In fact, I'm pretty sure the Code of Conduct was updated after he made that request and nobody closed out the issue. So I looked at it, saw the original source had been updated since then. And so I just pulled from the original source again, made that a PR, and then we'll close this out at some point. But that also needs a vote as well on the spec. So
Okay.
just wanted to make you aware since both of you were on the TRB. Other than that, I got nothing to talk about today.
I have an update on the, so Tuesday was a request for the OCI meeting at KubeCon. They have a room for us. I'm going to lock that in unless there's any other things to bear in mind in terms of scheduling, but Tuesday from 2:30 to 4:30 will be the in-person time at KubeCon. I can send out I can put a calendar event for it too on our calendar if that would be helpful. for folks to subscribe to that. Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think the big thing is once we know the time, we usually put a note at the top of our HackMD just above whatever the last meeting was, and we keep that bubbled up there so people see it when they open it up. But yeah, as soon as you lock that in, let us know. We'll have it on our side too.
Perfect.
But awesome getting it for the other day. I think some people will be happy with that. I did have one other thing I was thinking about. I didn't put in the notes. But if folks want to chat for a few minutes and didn't have anything else to talk about, I was curious what the admin structure of the repos should be. Because I kind of know in some places what it is. I've kind of gone through and looked and seen that we've got different things in different places, and it looks like it's been managed over time, which means that it's not consistent. We've got a handful of teams out there. Drop that note in the chat, where people are assigned to various teams with their maintainers, different projects. But we've also got a handful of repositories that aren't really affiliated with any one spec. And so the two that jump out to me are things like the website and the .github repo. Both of those are kind of outside the normal definition. So I've been looking through and seeing how we've got a little bit of inconsistency here and there, and been thinking, well, before I raise questions of should we change it to something, figured I would raise it up the comment of what should it look like? Who should be maintainers of what? Should maintainers of specs be given maintainer access to the website? Should the TOB be giving maintainer access to anything? Which role should we be giving everybody? Should they be full admin or just a maintainer? Or do we want people just limited to reviewer on certain things? Who do we want allowed to force push directly to main? Tiana is not here because Tiana will be the one that's like, yeah, just give me rights to force push to main.
I'm like, me.
But
I'll say it for him. Yes, he wants that.
Tianan has been very consistent on every time something shows up for the website and it's like a small change. He is like, review, approve, merge. And then he puts a comment in there that says, someone should probably take away my ability to merge without another reviewer every time. So I think he is doing it on purpose of, if I do this enough times, eventually someone's going to say we should fix this. And it might just be at that repo is, no, I think that one is set that certain people have full admin access versus just maintainer access. But it's also that it may not be configured to require 2 reviewers. And so that's another thing to go through and look at for some of these. But that also affects the ability to tag releases. So I think you do want certain people to have admin access to be able to tag a release. No strong feelings from the peanut gallery today. It's just because Tinan's not here. Tinan would have strong opinions. That might be something else I'll raise up on the TOB side to say, just at least an open discussion of how should we start to do this. And I'll probably go around and find a few examples of places that I'm able to see who's got what access and just say, hey, this is the way we set up over here, this is the way we set up over there, and just clarify, do we want it that way? How should it be? Figure it out, and then we can maybe get some consistency across the board.
Currently, are there a set of maintainers for the website? I don't know how this works right now. That's why.
There is a group for that. I think if I go and look it up, I can pull this up. Because that website group is used, but the list is probably not who you would think. So if I open up opencontainers.org and look at the stuff, I'm probably going to do a 2-factor on this. So pull out my key here. One moment while I get this. I wish they didn't auto submit the thing I type in. So I make typos. Okay, so the maintainers on the website is hilariously not the website group. It is the artifacts maintainers, which the artifact spec got archived a while back. There are a couple individuals, which they may be individuals from there. We pulled in Sam because Sam should have access to something. And then we have the distribution image and runtime spec maintainers in there. But now the distribution spec has admin versus the image spec and runtime spec only have write access, kind of maintainer access. So you've got stuff all random in there. The TOB doesn't have access to the website. So I'm looking at things like that and thinking probably would make sense to restructure some of this. If we've archived a project, they probably shouldn't be given maintainer access to a repository.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just odd that there is no maintainer group for the website there.
Well, there is a maintainer, there is a group, but they're not used for this. I think they're used somewhere. But when you look at those teams, there is a team for website. But it's none of the maintainers for our stuff here.
Is that probably the archived web repo that maybe it was for? And it just never got moved.
I could dig around, but I think this is more LF OCI internal stuff and not spec maintainer side. If you look at that link there, it's Chris, Patrick, and Mike Dolan. So this might have been something back when OCI was first formed. I haven't talked to Patrick in ages. I don't think he's still a Docker anymore. No, he's over at Microsoft now, according to the mail server. So yeah, I'll probably throw a conversation over on the TOB mailing list, open mailing list. If people want to talk about it more over there, we can discuss and sort out what makes the most sense.
I can promise you that Mike Dolan will no longer wish to be on the website team.
There's a lot of these sorts of things where we've got a lot of people that have been on these lists for a very long time. People that I haven't seen for a good long while. And VBATS is never getting off all of our list. VBATS is permanently on maintainer.
We'll never let go, VBATS. We'll never let go.
He is permanently on a lot of things. All right, that was my one-side conversation. Anyone else have other OCI stuff you want to chat about today?
I did some cleanup of some mailing lists. I've removed bouncing emails from email addresses, and we'll keep kind of tweaking some of the spam stuff.
I was going to ask, did you delete all the spam? I haven't looked over the dev.
I'm working on it. I've been clicking and deleting and removing while we've been chatting. So
there's a lot out there. There's a whole lot out there. Thank you for that. All right. Well, folks want it back 40 minutes so you can work on other like debug and auth working group stuff. I'm more than happy to give Sajay some free time so he can work on that. Sajay's like, dang it, I wish I didn't ask that question.
Yeah, I know. No, thanks, friend. It's that working group needs to come back at some point in time.
Yeah,
I don't know when.
My current order of operations, that one is either second or third. The first one is I want to revamp the conformance test of distribution, so that we can start looking at some of these other things of handling multiple multiple digest algorithms. Start asking questions like that. And maybe at some point I'll look at an image spec conformance test, but really the other two working groups, the auth working group and the image compatibility working group, are back there is probably 2 and 3 that I need to work on. So just everything all at once. Everybody wants attention. But yeah, it does need to get done. Everybody wants it done. Nobody has time to get it done.
I have a calendar invite or a calendar link for the HackMD when you want it.
Cool. So you put it on the OCI calendar, is what you're saying, for the event?
Yep.
Thank you very much. I will copy that. So that's at KubeCon 4:30 my time. I'll put it over in local time. Got the room in there and everything. Awesome. And the dial-in, we'll just, when we do our meeting, we usually just reuse the same dial-in.
I assumed. I was just gonna check with you. So I'll just use the same Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're lazy like that. All right. Unless there's nothing else, give back folks another 25 plus minutes here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week, and chat back next week.
Bye.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.